Everybody, it's Jenny McGarvey, and I am back today with a scrapbook layout. I am using the Luna collection from Prima. I absolutely could not resist it. First of all of the pink in it is adorable, and I love, love, love the black cats and the ghosts like made out of sheets, like somebody wearing a sheet masquerading as a ghost. Just so absolutely adorable. So I just love this collection. I am using the die cuts and then the 6x6 paper pad, and I will be making an 8.5 by 11 layout. In the background will be this black piece of cardstock. I have pulled out probably the oldest scrapbook tool that I own. Well, maybe not, but an old one for sure, which is the Colossal, and I'm going to be using it to create a bunch of circles out of the 6x6 paper pad. And I pulled out my favorite sheets, and I'll just be cutting the biggest circles I can out of this. I considered breaking out my silhouette and cutting out a big ghost or something like that to do this technique with, but in the end, I decided that I really probably didn't need to do that, that the circle would work fine and would really probably be, I don't want to say less work, but would be a little bit more simple, which was fine. It didn't really need to be any more complicated. Like, I could have done a pumpkin with a bunch of different little patterns on the inside, like a silhouette cut file, and then done a bunch of different patterns on the inside or something like that. But the circle was going to be fine, and it was going to do the same idea. So I'm going to just cut out from each of these patterns that I'm absolutely loving, like the light pink with the black cats on the outside, or the pink with the little ghosts, or the spider webs. I mean, seriously, so, so cute. And it definitely has so much to do with the pink. And when I say so cute, I genuinely mean it. Like, I'm not being like, oh my God, this is so cute. Like, I really, truly love it. I think that this collection is absolutely adorable, and it's why I had to have it. And when I went to a cherry on top to purchase it the first time, obviously a lot of people thought it was really cute too, because most of it was already sold out. So I had to wait for it to be restocked in order to get like the 6x6 pad and stuff. So I was very excited that it came back in stock, and I was able to snag the 6x6 pad and the ephemera because it's very cute. All right, so I've got all of those circles, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to cut different size, basically lines out of the circles so that I can make, obviously, different size, basically let's call them stripes, okay? And they're not going to be completely like straight across. I want them to be ever so slightly wonky, because I don't want them to be just really super linear and straight and all of that, because I want to have some of them be a little bit thicker, some of them be a little bit thinner, some of them be slightly diagonal. Like, I just want it to be ever so slightly off kilter and feel a little bit hectic. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but I want it to feel a little bit wonky. I'm just going to go with wonky, okay? Because it's Halloween, right? And so Halloween always feels a little bit hectic. So I felt like that was perfect for Halloween. And this is a layout about my cat dressed up in a Halloween costume. And the personality we have created for my cat is that he is a grumpy cat. He is not cuddly. He likes to be right by us. He always to be one, and he's very friendly in that regard, but he does not want to sit directly next to you. He does not like to be right next to you. He does not want to be held. So we give him a grumpy personality. So it's very funny. Anyway, so I am cutting the different stripes with different widths, and I am varying sort of the colors. So for example, I'm not usually using two pinks next to each other. I'm not using two whites next to each other. I only have the one black background, which is the spider webs. And I don't know what it is about spider web paper, but I always find it very appealing, even though obviously spider webs in general are not very appealing. But spiderweb pattern paper or spiderweb stamps are always very appealing. But so I like these stripes to be different widths, and I like to use them in just keeping them definitely very varied. Now I'm also just trimming them and then gluing them down until I'm not. So now we get to the last couple and I'm going to add adhesive directly to the circle and then stick the patterned paper onto the circle. Then I'm going to use the ruler and my X-Acto knife to cut the strip off. There's just no other good way for me to get it exactly where I want it once I've got some of the rest of these papers down. I really didn't think this through before I sat down to do it. I just sort of sat down and was like, let's do it. And I went for it and I started cutting, which was really fun. I really enjoyed the process. But it was like, okay, well, now this isn't ending up exactly how I had planned. So that's why the ruler and the X-Acto knife was necessary in order to make it end up how I planned. However, obviously, it wasn't as simple. But looking at the circle, this is exactly what I was dreaming of. So the ruler and the X-Acto knife was a very simple, very low impact way to make that happen. I'm trimming my photo down to 2.5 by 3 inches. I printed it at 3 by 4 approximately. I used my Canon selfie printer to print it at 3 by 4. And now I'm adhering it to a piece of white cardstock. I'm just eyeballing it for my maps. I'm not making it anything real specific, but I didn't line it up really totally straight. So I'm pulling it off and then I'm going to re-stick it down just so that I can have it a little bit straighter. Now I'm going to adhere it down to the layout and I'm going to have it all the way down on the lower left-hand side of the circle. You can see right there. I do really want most of the circle to stick out to be showing because I do love the way that it turned out and I really do like the patterned paper so much. They're really playful and fun, and I'm not going to lie, that does seem to match a cat dressed in a unicorn costume. Playful and fun does seem to be the name of the game when you have a cat dressed as a unicorn. Now, the embellishments are so cute, so I definitely wanted to layer a bunch of them and again have this just feel so fun. So I want to make a couple of main clusters at the bottom and at the top of the photo, and again make them feel so fun. So like the little witch's hat, like yes, please, on top of the cat, and then like layer with a little tag. So I'm pulling out ones that I feel like could really work, and then I'm setting aside ones that I think won't work. And then I'm making a third pile of little candy corns and stars that I think will work for accents in the end when we're sort of finished. So some that won't work are the really big girls in tags, say trick or treat, that I'm just gonna, I know that I'm gonna use one tag for layering, but then the word, I won't be able to see it, so that doesn't really make any sense. It's not gonna really work for this particular layout. That cauldron is perfect. It really sort of matches the photo. The grumpy cat dressed as a unicorn. And you can sort of envision the grumpy cat like creating a potion to curse all of us or whatever. Like if you're into Halloween, I think you get what I'm saying. Like it's just really fun. And then you have the little black cat sitting at the top. He's going to be one of the edges for the journaling that I'm going to use. The same thing is true for the October 31st at the bottom. Those are going to sort of create two of the sides for all of the journaling. And then now I can just start adhering all of those little pieces. Now I've printed the journaling on my computer just using white cardstock this time. And so now I am trimming those up and I am using the trimmer to cut those down and add strips. So I'm just cutting them apart and just making them into straight lines, and then I will adhere them down to the page up at the top and the right hand side. Like I said already, I'm going to use the clear glue. It's the mono, I think it's mono adhesive. I don't know, it's from Tombow. I'll link it up below. I love it for those little strips because it makes it just really easy to get enough heat adhesive on these little strips without using my big ATG gun, and they stick really nicely and it works out really well. All right, so cute. So now I'm going to lay those strips out right here, and I like that because it sort of mimics the strips in the circle as well, but I like that they really pop up here. Fun, right? So now I'll just use that adhesive, like I said already, and add that all through each of those strips right down here and drop quite a few of them on each attempt to be sure. And tell the story about the cat in the unicorn costume. Really, this whole layout made me laugh the entire time I was making it. It really was just such a joy, like because I absolutely loved the supplies, and then the photo and the memory just really made me laugh so much the entire time. So then now, okay, so the whole layout is mostly done, but I did have a couple of last little accents that I wanted to add, and then that was it. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below, and I will do my very best to get back to you. Thanks so much, and make it a great day.